Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another brand new video. So the Bitcoin bull run begins. Okay, it begins guys, and in this video I want to explain why. So if you guys haven't seen yesterday's video, we actually saw Bitcoin pump up to $30,000. Okay, literally it pumped all the way up to 30k, and then we saw it consolidate a little bit, and then all of a sudden, okay, it dropped all the way back down to $27,000, up, below 28k. Right, and then we saw it bounce back up. So if you guys haven't seen my most previous video, definitely check it out. Okay, but you guys can clearly see that Bitcoin is still holding up really well. Okay, it's still above $29,000, 29.4. So in my opinion, okay, and I'm pretty sure we can all agree that Bitcoin is still holding up really well. When we saw Bitcoin drop, okay, all of a sudden a lot of people were spooked by it. A lot of people were in fact becoming fearful, but no, that's not the case here, guys, right? You guys can clearly see that Bitcoin has bounced back up to $29,000. And I think in the next few days, and of course in the next few weeks, potentially, right, most likely that we will in fact see Bitcoin bounce back up to 30k, and of course reaching, the previous price targets of $31,000, 35, and potentially $40,000. I think that's a very possibility here. Okay, it's very possible. So the global crypto market cap as of right now is slightly higher than yesterday, 1.21 trillion, and it's up 0.84%. Okay, so pretty much 1%. So not much movements today. Yesterday we saw a better movement, right, in the market, but today everything's sort of just not much movements really today, right, in the entire market. But everything's still holding up really well. You guys can see for the past 24 hours, Bitcoin is up 1.5%. But overall, not much movements at all, guys. But there are some charts that I want to show you guys that indicates Bitcoin will surpass $30,000 in a matter of potentially a few days time, or maybe in the next few weeks. Okay, and this is going to happen really soon. So this chart is indicating that Bitcoin will surpass $32,000, $32.4 thousand, and I totally agree. Right, I told you guys this is not the time, to be fearful or to be bearish with Bitcoin. This is literally the beginning of the next Bitcoin bull run, right? And I told you guys this many times that we have already hit bottom. We know that, right? Back in November and December, we saw Bitcoin at $16,000, and yes, at one point Bitcoin was just below 16k. Okay, we all know that, right? But mainly Bitcoin was stuck at $16,000, and that was in fact Bitcoin's bottom right here. Okay, that was Bitcoin's official bottom, and you guys can clearly see we did in fact break out of it, right? So for all the people out there that's saying, Bitcoin's going to be reaching back down to $25,000 or even potentially $20,000 and lower, it's just very unlikely to happen at this point because we have already hit bottom. Bitcoin is already forming a new pattern to the upside, right? And it's going to continue on, right? This rally that we have in fact been seeing for Bitcoin will continue, guys, right? Bitcoin is not always going to shoot up. Okay, so when we look at the 1 hour time frame, you guys can clearly see it's really volatile, right? And some days, Bitcoin doesn't even move. It just literally, goes on its side and just consolidates, right? But yes, you guys can clearly see it's pretty volatile, right? It just goes up and down a whole bunch. You guys can clearly see that, right, for the past, few days. So you guys understand Bitcoin's not always going to shoot up. It's a really volatile asset, and that's why I always tell you guys to invest into Bitcoin and crypto for long term, especially Bitcoin, right? If you're investing into Bitcoin, invest for long term, guys, because Bitcoin has a store of value. Okay, it really does over time, right? It will grow its value. Think about it. Where was Bitcoin 10 years ago? 10 years ago, Bitcoin was at like $100, $100+, right? And now it's at, over $20,000, and it's worth tens and thousands of dollars right now. Okay, and remember at one point Bitcoin was almost at $70,000. So yes, Bitcoin has store of value, and that's why I always tell you guys, if you're investing into Bitcoin, right, invest for long term. So I really do believe in a matter of, potentially maybe next month in May, because, it's almost the end of April. I really do believe in May, we will in fact see Bitcoin bounce back up over $30,000 sometime in May next month. We will see. And I told you guys this, that in 2023, we will in fact see Bitcoin surpass $50,000. I think that's a very realistic price prediction for Bitcoin this year alone in 2023. Okay, remember guys, the Bitcoin halving event is going to happen, almost 1 year from now. Okay, it's going to happen either in April or May next year in 2024. Okay, a lot of people are saying it's going to happen in May. So pretty much exactly 1 year from now, the Bitcoin halving event is going to happen. So you guys have to understand we are in the pre-halving event. And if you guys look at, the previous histories, right, before the Bitcoin halving event happened, Bitcoin was in fact, bouncing back up. Okay, it was in fact sort of, going up to the upside. And that's exactly what Bitcoin's going to be doing. Okay, history does in fact rhyme and sort of repeats itself. So I think, and I told you guys this many times, if you guys have in fact been watching my videos, that we will in fact see a 50k Bitcoin, maybe even over $50,000 Bitcoin, right, towards the end of this year in 2023. That's my price prediction for Bitcoin this year in 2023, over $50,000. That's a very realistic price prediction. Maybe you guys let me know in the comments below what are your personal, price predictions for Bitcoin this year alone in 2023. Do you guys think it's gonna reach, maybe 40k? 50k, or maybe you guys think we're gonna see a 10k Bitcoin, right? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know. Okay, but personally, I think 50k is a very realistic price prediction for Bitcoin this year alone in 2023. So be excited for that. Now, I want to show you guys this video because I saw this video earlier this morning and I found it really interesting. So the US Senator Ted Cruz says he is incredibly bullish on Bitcoin and he bought the dip. So I actually want you guys to watch this video.
Incredibly excited and incredibly bullish.
It's pretty interesting.
On Bitcoin specifically, crypto more broadly, but Bitcoin in particular. I think Bitcoin is clearly the alpha in the crypto sphere, both in terms of coming first and also being clearly the most dominant. I think the analogy of digital gold is powerful. And the insight that led to its creation is still extraordinary. Listen, I'm a Bitcoin investor personally. I have a standing buy order. Every Monday morning I have a buy of Bitcoin that comes in, and I own a little more than 2 Bitcoins. So and every Monday I own a little bit more.
So did you guys hear that?
Bitcoin. So and every Monday I own a little bit more.
Wait.
2 Bitcoins. So and I own a little more than 2 Bitcoins. So
I think he just said he owns a little bit more than 2 Bitcoins. And that is absolutely amazing. I told you guys, if you own 1 Bitcoin, like you're going to be in the 1% of some type of wealth in the future. You know what I mean? And you're going to like own some type of Bitcoin because you guys understand Bitcoin is, in my opinion, it's the most scarce asset out there, right? There's just not enough Bitcoins out there for everyone to own. Think about it. There's almost 8 billion people. I think right now it's almost at 8 billion or surpassed 8 billion. I'm not quite sure, but I'm just going to say almost 8 billion people are on Earth and there's only 21 million Bitcoins. Think about that, right? Not even all the millionaires in the world can own a Bitcoin. There's around, estimated 56 million people in the world that are in fact millionaires. Not even all the millionaires can own a Bitcoin. So that's why, guys, I've been telling you guys for a long time now, and I know I keep repeating this, to own at least 1 Bitcoin, okay? Because owning 1 Bitcoin today, yes, it's sort of rare, not a lot of people have that type of money to invest into Bitcoin and to accumulate 1 Bitcoin, 1 whole coin, right? It's just very hard out there, okay? Bitcoin is not cheap, obviously, right? Buying 1 Bitcoin today is like buying a car, a brand new car pretty much. But in the future, a decade from now, Bitcoin's going to be well above $1 million. Okay, so think about that, guys. And that's why I always tell you guys to at least try to accumulate at least 1 Bitcoin. If you can't, that's fine. Own at least 1% of a Bitcoin, 10% of a Bitcoin, 50% of a Bitcoin, half of a Bitcoin. That's still amazing, right? It really is. So that's that.
And every Monday I own a little bit more.
So
and I will say
he's pretty much dollar cost averaging. See,
I bought the dip, which I was quite happy with. But I'm also a long-term investor, so I'm fine with some volatility, and I recognize that there's going to be going ups and they're going to be going down. But 21 million is a number that is a firm number. And I think one of the attractions to Bitcoin, certainly for me, but for many, is as a hedge against inflation.
That's what I'm saying. I've been telling us that many times. Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation. We know inflation nowadays is obviously going crazy. And I told you guys, if you want to stay away from inflation, if you want to beat inflation, put your money in Bitcoin. I told you guys that many times. Okay, because over time, Bitcoin always tends to reach up. If you guys look at the Bitcoin chart, like if you really zoom out, you can clearly see that it's always shooting up. It's always reaching a new all-time high. Okay. I don't know.
And particularly when you have irresponsible politicians in Washington that spend money like drunken sailors, which is actually not fair to the sailors because at least they're spending their own money, and that print trillions and trillions of dollars. We see inflation all across the country. That was driven by this spending binge that happened the last 2 years in Washington, and it unleashed significant inflation. I think Bitcoin is an important check against that. I think it is also powerful in that it is decentralized, in that it is far less susceptible to government control.
So you guys, there's just so many good things about Bitcoin, right? There really is, guys. Okay, and the one thing I mainly like about Bitcoin is because it's decentralized, right? It's not backed up by the government or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's literally just its own thing. Okay, because honestly, guys, I don't trust the government. Like, let me know in the comments down below if you guys actually trust the government, because I don't, and that's why I mainly just put my money in Bitcoin. Okay, and of course, banks nowadays, you guys are seeing what's happening with banks. Okay, Silicon Valley Bank going bankrupt, and a couple of days ago, I talked about another bank. I forgot what it was called. Free Public Bank, somewhere on those lines, where it was absolutely collapsing. Okay, and that could be the next bank to go bankrupt. So you guys understand, like, putting your money in banks, okay, it's just not worth it at all. And plus inflation, okay, this is why I always tell you guys to invest your money into Bitcoin. Put your money in Bitcoin. Treat Bitcoin like it's your own bank, like it's your own savings account. This is why Bitcoin was created at the first place by the creator, Satoshi Nakamoto. Still, to this day, we have no idea who this person is. Could be a man, a woman, a group of people. We have no idea, okay? But this person was really smart, okay? Really is smart. So that's that, guys, okay? The senator, US Senator Ted Cruz, he's bullish with Bitcoin, and he's actually a Bitcoin investor. You guys heard it here, okay? So that's that. Let me just go ahead and refresh this. Give you guys a little update on the Bitcoin monthly returns. You guys can clearly see it's up now 3.6%, over 3%, almost 4% for April. Yesterday, I think it was at like 2%, over 2%. So it's obviously slightly going back up more, and it's almost the end of April. So this is great. Hopefully this stays in the greens, and then May should be another green month, honestly. Even though, yeah, for the previous years, it's mainly in the reds. Right, I'm surprised March was a green month, because you guys can clearly see, usually March is not a great month for Bitcoin. But this year, I guess, and previous years, 2021 and last year, it was in fact in the greens. So we're going to see what happens, right, for May. But we know April is pretty much going to stay in the greens, hopefully, fingers crossed, right? But yeah, it's looking pretty good right now. Throughout the month, it's all greens, okay, so far. So that's amazing to see. Now, to end off this video, I just want to give you guys a little update on the Fingreed Index. It's been quite some time since I gave you guys an update on this. You guys can see it's up at 64 right now, so we're back in greed. Okay, I believe yesterday we were in fact in neutral. A couple of days ago we were in fact in neutral, but you know, it's back up in the greens. We are back in the greed mode, and we are 64, so that's amazing to see. So that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. I hope you guys hang in there. You guys are still, dollar cost averaging, buying the dip. I think honestly, buying right now, if you guys didn't, if you're watching this and you didn't buy Bitcoin below $20,000, it's fine. Buy some now, in my opinion, right? Because you guys understand, if we really zoom out, we are still low. You know, Bitcoin is nowhere near its previous all-time highs, which is all the way up here. We're all the way down here. So I think right now is still a great time to buy some Bitcoin, right? And honestly, buying Bitcoin below $100,000, you're blessed. That's just honest my opinion, because I know where Bitcoin is heading in the next few decades, right? It's going to be surpassed $1 million. So buying Bitcoin right now at 29K is cheap. That's just my honest opinion. It's cheap, okay? So invest what you can afford to lose, okay? But everything that I say, guys, is obviously not financial advice, so always do your own research, okay? But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and officially end this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you guys have not yet already. I really would appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Have a good one, guys.